A powerful and fast-developing winter storm swept across Saskatchewan, Canada, from the afternoon of December 17 through the morning of December 18, turning large parts of the province into a dangerous winter landscape of blowing snow, near-zero visibility, and treacherous travel conditions. The storm arrived quickly, leaving little time for residents and travelers to adjust, and it demonstrated once again how unforgiving prairie winter weather can be when snow and wind combine. Unlike slow-moving snow systems that allow communities to gradually adapt, this storm intensified rapidly. Snow began falling steadily across central and southern Saskatchewan, but within hours, strong winds picked up and transformed falling snow into dense sheets of blowing white. Visibility dropped sharply, especially in open areas, where flat terrain offered no protection from the wind. In many places, drivers described conditions where the horizon disappeared completely, and the road ahead became impossible to distinguish from surrounding fields. The areas most severely affected included central and southern regions of the province, particularly around major urban centers such as Regina and Saskatoon, as well as numerous smaller communities and rural municipalities connecting these cities. Highways linking urban and rural areas became especially dangerous, as blowing snow repeatedly covered lanes and erased tire tracks within minutes. Even experienced prairie drivers struggled to navigate conditions that changed suddenly and without warning. Snowfall totals varied by location, but many parts of Saskatchewan recorded between 10 and 20 centimeters of snow during the event. In some communities, including areas around Rosetown, totals reached approximately 25 centimeters. While these amounts alone are not uncommon for Canadian winters, the true severity of the storm came from persistent wind. Snow was lifted off the ground and redeposited into massive drifts, in some cases reaching heights of roughly 80 to 85 centimeters. These drifts blocked rural roads, filled ditches, buried parked vehicles, and made emergency access extremely difficult in isolated areas. Wind played a critical role throughout the storm. Strong and sustained gusts continuously pushed snow across roadways, creating repeated whiteout conditions long after snowfall had slowed. For many residents, the storm felt relentless, as visibility failed to improve even during breaks in snowfall. On the open prairies, where there are few trees, buildings, or hills to break the wind, this kind of blowing snow can be more dangerous than heavy snowfall itself. Drivers could not see other vehicles, road signs, or even the edges of the highway, making every trip a high-risk decision. The impact on transportation was immediate and widespread. Provincial authorities issued multiple travel advisories, urging people to avoid unnecessary travel and warning that conditions could deteriorate rapidly. Key highway corridors were especially hazardous, with snow-covered pavement, icy patches, and drifting snow making driving unpredictable. Snowplows and road crews worked continuously, but strong winds limited how effective clearing efforts could be, as freshly plowed roads were quickly covered again. Law enforcement agencies across Saskatchewan reported a sharp rise in weather-related incidents during the storm. Over a short period of time, police responded to dozens of collision reports linked directly to winter conditions. Many of these incidents involved vehicles sliding off roads, rear-end collisions caused by sudden stops in low visibility, or cars becoming stuck in deep drifts. In addition to crashes, officers handled numerous calls from drivers stranded in rural areas, highlighting how quickly travel can become dangerous during prairie winter storms. Tragically, the storm also resulted in a fatal crash involving a semi-truck. This incident underscored the extreme risks posed by whiteout conditions, particularly for large commercial vehicles that require longer stopping distances and are more vulnerable to loss of control on icy surfaces. The loss served as a stark reminder that winter storms are not only an inconvenience but can quickly become life-threatening. Beyond Saskatchewan, the storm was part of a broader winter system affecting multiple provinces across central Canada. As it moved eastward, it disrupted travel, forced closures, and caused delays across the prairies. Flights were canceled or postponed. Schools and public institutions were closed in some areas, and long-distance transportation was significantly affected. The widespread nature of the storm highlighted how interconnected weather impacts can be across North America during winter months. As conditions gradually improved later on December 18, snowfall eased in many areas, and visibility slowly began to return. However, authorities warned that danger did not end when the snow stopped falling. Blowing snow and drifting continued to affect highways, especially in open rural areas, and icy surfaces remained a concern. Residents were urged to continue monitoring road conditions, prepare emergency supplies, and delay travel whenever possible. This storm illustrated the defining characteristics of prairie winter weather. In Saskatchewan, the severity of a storm is not measured solely by snowfall totals, but by how wind transforms snow into a moving hazard. Flat landscapes allow wind to dominate, creating sudden whiteouts, deep drifts, and rapidly changing conditions. The events of December 17 and 18 showed how quickly winter weather can escalate and how critical preparation, caution, and public warnings are in protecting lives. For many residents, this storm was a powerful reminder of winter's strength and unpredictability on the Canadian prairies. It disrupted daily routines, challenged emergency services, and demanded patience and resilience from communities across Saskatchewan. As winter continues, officials emphasize that storms like this are a part of life in the region, and that respect for the weather is essential for staying safe.